To talk about the 13th annual Thousand Islands Regatta, Steve Armstrong is joining me in the studio. I have a lot of questions, so let's find out as much as we can about this upcoming regatta. So, Steve, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
Alrighty, so dates. What are the dates of this regatta that's coming up?
So our date it corresponds with a holiday here in town and in our country, the Canada Day weekend. So
Yes.
The Friday is July 1st, where we'll be kicking off the opening ceremonies. It's going to be a great night. We've got the Road Apples in town, which is I would say the top Tragically Hip cover band that I've heard of. Amazing band. So it's going to be an exciting time for us to get our event going again after a long pause. So we're really looking forward to it.
Oh, the 2 years that you were down, you people must have been just, like, come on, COVID, get out of the way. We've got to get out there again.
Well, I think we had that in common with everybody who has a passion or any kind of interest. It really shut down everybody's interest. So not just boat racers, but in every area of life. So we're really hoping that it's a celebration and bringing people back together and enjoying.
Yes,
I hope so. I hope so.
So it is 3 days, though, isn't it? July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd?
That's right. We open our gates at around 4 o'clock on Friday on the 1st.
Yes.
We'll have some local bands playing leading up to the Road Apples. One called Twin Turbos, who's a local band that's very excited to come out and play on a big stage.
So the hydroplane racing will start then Saturday morning?
That's right. Normally at any event that we are at with the Hydroplane Racing Series, Hydroplane Racing League Series, we usually start around 10 a.m. On the Saturday, full program of races, and then the same on Sunday. So normally between 10 and 5. Depending on weather. We can't really help Mother Nature, but that's the plan, 10 to 5 Saturday and Sunday.
So what would stop you from actually being out there to race?
High winds, especially.
High winds, okay.
These boats are built to kind of fly along the top of the water, and we describe it as kind of ground effect.
Yes.
So when the winds are very high, we do have a way to manipulate the boat to stay on the water into the wind.
Right.
However, when you get up gusts over 30 kilometers an hour, 40 kilometers an hour, your hands are full as a driver, and it creates a dangerous situation. So sometimes we have to protect ourselves from ourselves.
Yes. Now, what about heavy rains? Would heavy rains also be an issue?
Heavy rains can be an issue because the windshield inside the cockpit can fog up. We don't have defrosters in these hydroplanes, so it could be an issue. We do race in the rain, though, just not in heavy downpour.
No. Like a burst of rain, you're not going to, right? Okay,
That's right.
So these are actually sanctioned races.
That's right.
So what are the different categories that we'll be racing?
So in the Hydroplane Racing League, we race a 2.5 liter stock class, which is the entry level class into the sport. You see a lot of young drivers, 18, 19, 20-year-olds coming into the class.
Yes.
Then we have a Formula 2500 class, which is really the A division of the 2.5 liter, where you've got more experienced drivers. It's much closer racing. Then we have a class called the Hydro 350 class, which is a 5-liter hydroplane, which we have some local drivers. Kent and Henderson and Tyler Cadats are driving in that class. And then we also have the Jersey Speed Skiff class, which is kind of like it looks kind of like a rum runner boat, like from the Prohibition era. So that's really where they came along.
All right.
And now they've turned them into a competitive racing hull. Wow. And we'll also have some Grand Prix hydroplanes there testing for the weekend. We have 2 teams from New Zealand, the Lupton family, who have been coming here for a few years, that will be testing their boats, among others. So it should be exciting. I believe we have 5 local drivers. Owen Henderson, who is the son of Bert Henderson, myself, Kent and Tyler, and then Bert will be testing a Grand Prix hydroplane as well. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, there's also vintage.
That's right. Unfortunately for our event this year, we won't have vintage participating. With the return of the series, they were worried about making sure the schedule runs smoothly.
Yes.
Like any other series being off for 2 years, there was some things that they just wanted to keep it as simple as possible this first year. And hopefully we'll have vintage returning in the future.
So for our viewers that have never ever attended and they don't understand what the hydroplane races are, you actually start off in a class, correct? And then it actually goes smaller and smaller because your winners are going to go on, are they not?
That's right. So what we do is we start on Saturday morning with the first qualification heat.
Yes.
And then there's another qualifier in the afternoon for each class. And then moving on to Sunday, there's a third qualification. So what happens is the top 6 boats through points, so your standings and your positioning, would move on to the final. And then we also run a consolation final where the winner of that heat gets in on the outside lane of the final. So it's competitive. You have to perform well every heat. And, it just adds more interest as a driver. You really have to be on your toes every heat. You have to have a good result. So there's no room for error.
Okay, you just mentioned driver. I've also heard the word pilot.
That's right.
Is it either or?
Yeah, I would say either or. You know, I guess we could be referred to as pilots because we are flying.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. We are flying, but we like to keep the 3 points. We would drive what are called a 3-point hydroplane. So we like to keep those 3 points in the water, which is the propeller, the skid fin, and the outside sponson. So we keep those 3 points on the water as much as possible.
Yes.
It's a fine line if you get them out of the water. So.
So what else is happening while this racing is going on? There's other things that are taking place at Blockhouse Island.
That's right. We tried to, many years ago, make it into a festival environment for our city. And, you know, we have a very large kid zone that we take a lot of pride in. It's probably the biggest kid zone on the series where we have blow-up castles or bouncy castles and face painting and different games. We also have a Bolt dance studio coming down this year to do some dance lessons with the kids. And it's just going to be a lot of fun for everybody. We have a lot of food vendors on site as well, so you'll be able to choose your favorite thing that you want to eat. We have obviously the beer gardens, or the Bavarian gardens as we call it.
Yes.
We have a satellite one during the races down on the point, so you can enjoy a beverage while you're watching the races. And then in the evening for the concerts, we have a more permanent location as well.
That's great. And will you be having like craft vendors this year as well?
Yes. So we have not only food, we also have craft vendors. You're right. Lots of clothing, different kind of antiques and different.
And
just
why
makes
not?
It gives a flavor and for everybody to come and enjoy. If you're not 100% sold on racing, or if it's not your thing, there's many other things to do down there. So.
There is, which brings us up to all the concerts that are going to be happening.
That's
so
right.
Friday night, as you started to mention, Road
we've
Apples
got the Road
will be
Apples.
there.
We've been trying to get them for a few years,
you?
just because the Tragically Hip are such a
They're
such
so
a
well
famous,
known.
Yes, and everybody loves their music, so
Yes.
it's going to be a great way to kick off the event. And then on Saturday, we have some big headliners that we're really excited about. We've got Sass Jordan,
Yes.
who's I've never seen live, so I'm excited to see her rock the stage. I listened to an interview of hers, and she's pretty fantastic. So I'm looking forward to her. Kim Mitchell, of course, who everybody knows is a legendary artist. So very excited about him as well. So the Saturday night's going to be pretty wild down there. We've never had 2 headliners like this back to back, so it's exciting. And then Sunday night to close out, we've got local acts, Tom Savage Band, who's played many years at our festival, as well as Geordie Jackson, who's a local country artist who's fantastic as well. So we're really looking forward to it.
It sounds like there's so much happening.
That's right.
It's going to be so hard to take in everything.
Yeah, we're really excited, and we find that the community this year has probably been the most behind us that we've seen. People are just very excited. We've got some great sponsors. Our title sponsors this year are Kia, Brockville, and Thousand Islands Brewery. So excited to have those guys on board. Many others too have committed funds to help us put this event on. So.
Okay, let's talk about tickets now. What can we get tickets in advance? Do we get them at Blockhouse when we go down? What do we do about tickets?
Right, so you can right now purchase your tickets online through the Brockville Arts Center. So you can go on, and a weekend pass right now until June 8th is $50, and that gets you to everything, all access to the races and all of concerts. We also have just single concert tickets that you can order online, so you'll have a selection. If you go to our Facebook page, you can find out which ticket fits you best, if it's one night of concerts, if it's the whole thing. And then we also have just a race day ticket that you can purchase at the gate for $20. I think it's also important to note that 12 and under are free to our event. We've always believed that kids should be able to come down and enjoy our event, and without parents having to worry about a big expense. So.
Well, and why not? Why not? Yeah. And there's also a contest.
Oh, the 2-seater.
That's ride in a Grand Prix
That's
boat.
right. So there's a a vintage hydroplane that's been retrofit to house 2 people in the cockpit.
Yes.
And I can tell you, I've watched many of these joyrides, I
Yes.
guess you would call it, at other events.
Yes.
And what a thrill. You know, you're going to have a very experienced Grand Prix driver. His name is Ronald Bro. He's been driving it for 40 plus years. So
Okay.
he'll be behind the wheel. And you'd be fitted with a helmet, life jacket, and sitting in behind him.
All right.
And there's been a few events where he's set faster times than the Grand Prix boats themselves. So
Oh.
you're probably reaching 135, 140 miles an hour down the straightaway, which, as you can imagine, it kind of makes me nervous just thinking about it.
Yes.
But what a thrill. If you're a thrill seeker, that's the contest for you, for sure.
I don't think I'll enter, sorry. On the water that fast? No. Okay, this may be... Talking about the hydroplanes, when you're sitting in the cockpit, like the steering, is it like the old steering, or do you have like power steering in there?
No, it's direct cable-driven steering, so it's the old steering.
Whoa.
So, and it's probably better that way because you really have to be able to react immediately to what
You
the wheel
do,
is
eh?
doing. Power
Okay.
steering may give you a false sense of security in a
Ah.
hydroplane, I would say.
Okay.
And to be honest, you don't move the wheel that much. You move it a lot, but not a lot as far as a circumference.
Okay, like turning them a lot.
That's right. So
all
when
at
you
once.
enter a corner, if I could just
Yes.
try to, you probably only turn the wheel by this much.
Okay.
Because it hooks up on the skid fin, and then it kind of throws you against the side of the boat, and there's G-forces involved there. But your hands are very busy trying to
Yes.
hold it in the line, but it's not, you would never do a hand-over-hand
Okay.
situation. Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. You are well known on the circuit. Why do you race? Why do you race?
I guess for me, I started going to races when I was very little. As my oldest memories are going to boat races. So
Really?
those drivers were my heroes, and you know, so I got an opportunity to do so. I tried it out, and I was hooked immediately. I guess for me, I'm a competitive person in other sports as well. So you add the competitive spirit, as well as I love speed. So I guess I'm a bit of a thrill seeker. But yeah, I do it for the love of it, the passion, the people that we race with. We're all very close friends. So
Good.
it's
That's
kind of
nice.
a different environment in boat racing because we race during the day as opposed to stock cars and other
yes.
forms of racing that would race at night and kind of go
Right.
home after.
Right.
We're there from Friday till Sunday night all together. So when the races are over, we're really a big family that gets together and eats together and has a few pops together.
And you better, because I mean, you're there with them.
That's right. And we try and take care of each other out there on the race course too. So
Good.
it's important.
Good.
It's
Yes,
important.
it is.
Yeah.
Volunteers. You must have a lot of volunteers.
We do. We're always looking for more.
Okay.
But we have a bunch of fantastic people that step up and help us every year as far as running the
Wonderful.
bar, the gates, and
Uh-huh.
running different things around, helping us put up fencing and installing docks. And there's so much that comes with putting this event together, and Brockville has really stepped up to help us. So we're very lucky.
Thank you for coming in today and
Thank you
sitting
very
down with
much.
me. Those dates again are?
July 1st to 3rd, 2022 at Blockhouse Island.
So come on to Brockville and enjoy, right?
Very, very excited. Hope to see everybody there. Looking forward to a lot of smiling faces and some beautiful weather.
Oh, I'm sure. We'll have good weather, okay?
Okay.
No thunderstorms, no rain,
I'm gonna hold you
no
to it.
winds. No, it'll be good. It'll be good. So thanks, Steve. Really appreciate it.